I wouldn't trade a single thing. I wouldn't trade a single horrible, fucking awful, inhumane moment of it. I really think life is suffering. It is. And that's maybe an uncomfortable truth that people don't really want to acknowledge. That's poison to a young man. Like, that's absolute poison. But you go from that and then you get out of prison and you've got nothing. You're a loser. You've got no money. You're doing shit jobs for nothing. I was completely resigned to the fact of, I'll go back to prison. I don't give a shit. Like, this is who I am. This is my life. This is who I work. Just kept working and working and working. And a C-suite executive in a huge company. And I love my company very much. And I'm unique in the executive side of, come from federal prison with no education, no high school. I do talk about imposter syndrome. I'm sitting around with people with like masters and business degrees that are just geniuses. And I'm like, oh my God, me not saying fuck for 5 minutes is like an accomplishment. It was like, oh, if this goes bad with my dad, he's going to be in a hospital bed with his only child, his son, not there.
Welcome everybody. First episode of 2026. We're actually recording this a couple days before the new year, but you'll be seeing this probably January 2nd. That's kind of what I'm thinking. First guest in a while, Eddie Panting is here. He is one of my, honestly, I consider you to be a mentor and a personal inspiration, just because you've really turned your life around, and I admire that in a lot of people when they do that. You're born in Thunder Bay, raised in Winnipeg. Tell me about that. How was that?
Well, firstly, thanks so much for having me, buddy. I'm really excited to be here, and thank you for the kind words. That does mean a lot coming from you. It's as we start here, I do want to say likewise. It's been inspirational watching your journey, man. As a new boxer, both as a athlete, as a fighter, as a coach, all the cool things you're doing at work, all the cool things you're doing with this podcast. It's awesome, man. I'm a huge fan, and I'm really excited to be here, man.
Happy to have you.
Born in Thunder Bay, Ontario. I was adopted there. My parents are from Winnipeg. They were living out there, and so I was born out there, adopted. Brought back to Winnipeg as like a baby, and grew up in mostly the north end of Winnipeg. Went to school in the north end.
Cool, me too.
For people that are familiar.
Which area, if you don't mind?
So I was on McRae. Like I went to Sisler High School.
Oh wow, okay.
So right in the north end. My parents actually moved when I was young. We moved to the suburbs, but I still went to school in the north end, grew up in the north end. All my friends were there. That's where I spent all my time. My parents tried their best to get me out of the hood and move us away, but I just kept going back, man. That's where I wanted to be.
Yeah, cool. And then you ended up, like, do you still live in the north end? Or?
We're in the south end of the city now.
Oh, okay, good.
I as soon as I got the opportunity to live in the south end, I did it and betrayed all of my roots, and I never go back. My parents are still in the north end, but I try not to. I sound snooty, but I still love it. I have a ton of friends there. I just really like being in the south.
Of course.
Like it. Yeah,
me too. I gotta say the same thing. So I grew up in the Maples area.
Yep.
And then it was like middle school. We moved to like the southwest, I think it is. I'm not the best with directions, but I think it's in that area, close to like Headingley. But anyways, that's cool. That's awesome. I want to ask you though, what is a belief that you had in your early 20s that you completely disagree with now?
I guess, growing up in the north end, growing up the way I grew up, I know we're going to get into it, but sorry if I was a little vague on my childhood. It was a very normal childhood. It was, very normal. I've got amazing parents. They're the kindest people in the world.
Right.
And saying a belief I had in my early 20s that is completely wrong. That's a great question. I think there's a few. I think relying very heavily on external validation was a belief that I really had, that I thought people's opinions really mattered, and the right people's opinions, absolutely,
of course,
right?
Yeah.
Your loved ones, your family, your friends, your colleagues,
Yeah.
teammates, those opinions matter. But like, I don't know, man. I don't give a shit what random people, like, I try to be kind to people and I treat people really well, but yeah, you can't bother yourself with other people's opinions of you are none of your business.
Yep.
Right? That's their opinion. They're allowed to have it. But I really sought out external validation all the time in my early 20s, and in a lot of the wrong places. And
of course,
now that's just not something I look for.
Yeah. No, that's really cool that you say that, because I have always struggled with the way people think of me, just because I've always had this sort of like, well, I mean, I've briefly told you about my struggles with confidence growing up.
Sure.
That's always been just a hard thing for me. And I think, like, so I've never really known the answer. I've never really known why I have this lack of confidence. I had. It's definitely gotten a lot better. But when I had this absolutely zero confidence, I never understood why. You know, growing up and you start to understand a bit more, and really it's because it's the same as what you were saying. I always wanted to be popular in school, right? And I never, with the lack of confidence, I never really got that. So there was a lot of times where I would change who I was, the type of person that I was, just so I could try to fit in, right? And that never worked out, right? It just created a deeper hole. I was just digging a deeper grave for myself, right?
Sure. Isn't it so weird though? Like I have 3 daughters, and they're 23, 19, and 17. And we always talk about, like, when you're in high school, it's just because you brought that up, and it's like you wanted to be popular in high school, and like cool is like a thing until you get out of high school, and it doesn't exist. Like, it's just not, no one gives a shit. Like none of that stuff is relevant whatsoever. But it's your entire need of existence when you're in those formative teen years, right? Like the group acceptance, the being the cool kid, being popular, like it just consumes every thought that you have and every
100%.
action.
100%.
And then you're like 18 out in the world, and it just means literally nothing. And you're like, oh my God, I put myself through so much suffering for absolutely no reason.
Yeah. Like, I haven't talked to a single person from my high school since graduating. Not one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 41, and I'm very fortunate. I still have a lot of the friends that I grew up with, guys that have been friends for 20
Oh, that's
years.
awesome. That's great.
It is awesome. But yeah, it's odd. Like, I was recently at a birthday party for one of my like really close friends, and that we grew up together, and there was a bunch of people that I hadn't seen since high school. Like,
oh, that must have been really cool.
It wasn't when people are like, I don't know. It's like, dude, we weren't friends then. I haven't seen you in 20. Like, I'm glad you're doing well, but like, we don't need to rehash high school.
100%.
Like, talking about like, oh, remember this?
The
it's
good
like,
old days or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, buddy, if those are your heyday, and that's the best thing you've accomplished in the last 30 years, then you got some opportunities.
Yeah. Yep. I remember hearing this thing of like, where, you know, the more popular you are in high school, the bigger crowd you had around you, the smaller crowd, I guess you could say, you have in adult life, in the real world, right?
That's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, anecdotally, I would have to agree. Like, I went through some things in my life that really helped me trim the fat, as it were, of like just getting useless psychic leeches out of I call them psychic vampires, like just people out of my life.
Yeah.
And I used to really, again, back with that external validation, I used to think that like having people around me all the time and being like the man and all, like thinking that way was like so important. And then you realize like I have an incredible group of people in my close personal life.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my best friends that like I said, I grew up with. We grew up playing football together. We were in the shit together. Like,
Yeah.
and I love those people. I love their wives. I love their kids. Like, it's like
100%.
family, right? Chosen
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty small group. Like, I've got a lot of acquaintances, and I try to
Yeah.
be friendly with a lot of people, but
100%.
yeah, that need for like massive social acceptance is something that I definitely
Just
I don't want to, grow out of isn't maybe the right way of putting it, but changing my personal validation, like how it ranks on my validation is completely different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I used to think that's how I judged if I was like worthy, was all these people know me and all this, like, I used to get a lot of just validation out of that. And I just
100%, 100%. Obviously I'm a bit younger than you.
Sure.
So there are our growing up paths, they have their similarities, but there also is the major differences. Like, I mean, a big thing for me in high school was, vaping was all the rage in high school, right? It was like, if you, which it's just insane to think that like there's like fourth graders doing this shit, and that's just so terrible for you. But anyways, I rest my case there. No, but like I remember almost everybody I talked to either just joined that wave, started the vaping stuff right away, or they just slowly sort of trickled in. And at the time, I was like, you know what? I don't really want to do this shit, but if this is what I got to do to be accepted, to like for them to see me, right? Then, you know, I'll try it, right? I never had my own, but I always would, you know, ask to take a hit of the others, right? Just because, you know, I thought that's what I had to do. And looking back on that, like, well, first off, I want to say I can proudly say I have never been peer pressured, ever.
Okay.
Every decision I've made has been my own, whether it's a good or a bad decision.
Sure.
Yeah,
I cannot say that, but good for you. Yeah, I cannot say that.
Yeah. Just kind of like sort of drawing the different experiences. I guess how I can ask, like, what do you remember most about growing up?
Well, so I had I guess like a relatively unique childhood, or just path. Everybody's is unique. I shouldn't say it that way, but I grew up like it's just me and my parents. I'm an only child.
Yeah.
And my parents, I grew up in the 90s, right? Like your parents worked, like you came home from school with your own key. You cooked for yourself, like very much that. Like both of my parents, it was I guess you would say like a lower middle class. I had all my needs met, but we didn't have there was no extras. Like we you know, money wasn't something that was abundant at all around the house. And we made do. And so I grew up very much like sports was a big thing. I was always involved in team sports. That was critical, mostly football. Like played all the sports, but football was my
that was the biggest one. Yeah.
Yeah. That took up primarily most of my life, like as a youth. Yeah. And then got into martial arts pretty young. Probably around, I think 14 is when I started training like full time. Yeah. So where I lived, like my house was in like a suburban area, but where I went to school, where I grew up, everybody that I was around was kind of back in the North End. And for those people listening that aren't super familiar with Winnipeg or the neighborhoods, like the North End is typically what was considered a rougher part of town. And it was very like lower economic status for a lot of people. It was pretty tough for a lot of people economically. And all the tropes that come with that, man. Like it's rough. You grow up, there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of gangs, there's a lot of crime, there's a lot of that stuff. So I was very much a passive kid. I was pretty quiet, super skinny. Like my dad always used to laugh that you could, do an x-ray on me with a flashlight. Like I was super skinny kid. And, I didn't grow up around a lot of people that looked like me. There was a lot of, like the neighborhoods I grew up in were, or like the area I grew up in, not necessarily where my house was, but where I was living or spending all my time was a lot of Filipino, East Indian, a lot of Jamaican, like Native or Indigenous people. Like that was the majority of all my friends and where I was going to school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got picked on, not like, I wasn't like brutally bullied. In the 90s, everybody was bullied. That was just the way that went. But I was a skinny kid. I was very much like a class clown. I tried to make everybody like me through humor and joking around. And I wanted to be the funny kid. And I got into, like, sports was great just to make friends and get a sense of ownership and responsibility for other people and, you know, things like that. And then martial arts, I started when I was 14 with a good friend of mine that I grew up with. And I just got sick of getting my ass kicked, man. Like I was getting beat up, get my jacket taken, beat up, get my hat taken, beat up, get this. Like that was a big thing where I grew up. Like you know, you'd be walking and you'd go to this mall, or you'd be going to go to a movie, or you'd go to wheelies, like the roller rink.
Oh, I remember wheelies. Yeah.
You know, you come out and there's some classic lines when I grew up that people who grew up around us would know. It's like, you know, somebody asks if you got a smoke. It's like, you're about to get into a fight. You know, like, I like your hat. I like your shoes. I like your jacket. It's like, oh,
that's
cool.
all fighting words.
They're going to take it. That's what's going to happen. And, and that was happening. And obviously I'm not like saying that's a great thing. Obviously we don't want kids to be getting, but it was just part of the way it grew up, the way I grew up and the area I was around. And, so I always loved martial arts. Bruce Lee was my hero. I loved like action movies and martial arts. And I wanted to learn. And so I just started training and fell in love with it. And it honestly came from a sense of, I wanted to learn how to protect myself. And I wanted to, I think, I know we boxed together and that's how we met. Any form of martial art, combat sport, I consider boxing martial art, like anything like that.
100%.
I could go on all day about this, but it really gives people a sense of empowerment, right? Self-confidence and empowerment. I'm sure that's a lot of your experience with it as well. But
yes.
I started to really like who I was becoming through martial arts. And just getting the shit kicked out of me every day in the gym. It was rough. Like I just kept showing up and it really made a difference. Like I don't know who I would be or where I would be in life if martial arts weren't a part of it. And it's been consistent for the last, 26 years or whatever. But that was a big thing for me. And so like when we talk about growing up and maybe some things I remember the most, I remember some things that really stood out was, you know, like any kid just trying to find your place, you know, trying to find out. It's so interesting. Sorry to get off track. In the world of social, like that didn't exist when I was growing up.
Oh,
You know,
I wish it didn't exist.
Yeah,
for me.
Me too, man. Me too. But like the people, I always see people like young people your age and younger, and they're like, oh, I'm finding myself. It's like, dude, I know dudes my age and 50s that haven't found them. It's like, that's a lifelong journey. Don't stress yourself out about that.
Yeah.
And you're going to change and evolve multiple times throughout your life. If you're not an idiot, right? You're going to continue to evolve and change and adapt to the world around you. But it was a lot of trying to fit in. I really felt like I was trapped between two worlds. So, the area I grew up in, we had a tiny little house. Literally like the smallest in the whole neighborhood, basically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it was a big deal, man. My parents worked really hard to give me that opportunity and to grow up somewhere that wasn't crazy. But a lot of the kids around me were, like they just had more means. Like there was more affluence, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't really fit in with those kids because we didn't have any money. Like everything was just to like keep the lights on and like keep the house. And like, we're blue collar, right? Like super blue collar. Yeah. So, my dad had a job, like he drove highway buses. So he wasn't around a lot.
Okay.
Not like we're super close. I don't mean like
for sure. Yeah.
But he just had a job where he'd be gone for 3-4 days.
Working a lot.
Home. Yeah. So it was weird. Like I grew up where the kids around me where I lived had money, and I wasn't like, we didn't have stuff like that. We didn't have a big house. We couldn't go on vacations. And, you know, you kind of get picked on for that because rich kids are kind of like, you don't fit in there.
Yeah.
But then I would go spend time with my cousins and my family and my friends in the North End, and I would get picked on for being like a suburbs kid.
Ah, geez.
So
it was just
like,
no winning.
Yeah. I was like, I just always felt like I didn't have a place. It was like, well, I don't fit in with the suburban kids because I'm kind of like, I talk different and like we don't have any money. But to my friends and family and kids that were still in the hood, they're like, oh, you're like a Richie kid. You moved out and now you guys are down there. And it's like, not really. But so yeah, that was a big thing that stood out to me as an adult now, thinking back on my youth, is I really learned how to be a social chameleon pretty young to fit in with the different crowds. Not as like a manipulation, but just as a survival, like trying to fit in with going to a birthday party at like a rich kid's house and trying to feel like, you know, try to fit in with them, and then go spend a weekend back in the hood with my cousins who are all like North End gang members and rough as hell, and trying to like hang out and talk cool and like just trying to fit in. And I really started to learn how to adapt to a lot of different environments. And I really think that served me well my entire life. Is it's not about being disingenuous or being fake, but being able to adapt to the circumstances and environment that I'm in, to not to stand out, to just blend in, to just like I could just fit in somewhere. That's all I ever wanted. So that was a big thing that stood out to me, man. Yeah. Very
cool. Very cool. You'd mentioned that you looked up to Bruce Lee. Would you consider him to be like one of your role models?
I think just as a kid, like I admire a lot of the stuff they did. My role models are all real people. And I was raised by wolves, man. Like I was, and I mean that in the best way. Like I had a lot of very firm, positive male role models my entire life. My dad is a really hardworking guy. Very kind man, but like has standards for sure. Has standards and expectations. My football coaches, like I got to play junior football, like these people that inspired me were men that could just command, real leaders, like that could really command and demanded excellence out of you at all times.
Right.
And my martial arts coaches demanded excellence. And my, I'm sure I know we're going to get into this, but I was involved with gangs and involved with crime, and like my big homies, the guys I looked up to, my older cousins and the older guys in my neighborhood, they were serious dudes, man. Like these were as serious as gangsters can get, you know, like that's, I grew up watching Goodfellas and Casino, and like that, I wanted to be those guys so bad. I admired like that power and the influence and the respect that fear demanded. And so all my role models were real people. They were guys in my life. They were people I looked up to. They were coaches, they were friends, they were older cousins, you know, guys I looked at like big brothers, big homies that honestly just taught me how to be a man, and demanded from me self-respect and self-responsibility. And I think that is something, I'm going to be a little bit of an old man yelling at clouds right now, but I do think that's a big gap in a generation of men your age and a little bit younger, is nobody in my life, whether it was my father, whether it was like I said, my older cousins that were tough dudes, big homies from the hood that were like these, you know, infamous gangsters, football coaches, martial arts instructors, like none of them let me create excuses. None of them let me wallow in self-pity. None of them let me off with anything, man. Like they never let me off with anything. And that's why I say it proudly. Like I was legitimately raised by wolves, man. Like dudes that just did not, anything less than my best was insulting to them and insulting to me. And that that has been instilled in me my entire life. And I owe a lot of my success in life, whatever that means, however you want to measure that, to that attitude. And that came from those guys. So it's interesting you ask, and people always talk about like, oh, your heroes and Bruce Lee or Muhammad Ali. And like, of course you idolize these athletes and these wonderful, these larger than life people. But I just looked up to the people that were around me, man. Those are the guys who influenced me.
Yeah. Is there anybody in your life that you still look up to?
Yeah, for sure. My father. Very much. Yeah. He taught me how to be a man, taught me how to be a father. A lot of things like, and it's interesting because our personalities aren't like, we're pretty different, which is interesting. But yeah, very much my dad. I've got a lot of mentors, whether it's at jiu-jitsu, some of my mentors at work in my company that I really admire, that I look up to personally and professionally. Other fighters, coaches, like I think entrepreneurs. I have some friends that are incredible entrepreneurs that are building incredible businesses. I really look up to that.
Cool.
I look up to dudes that are good dads, man. That's, I think, without taking a hard right turn, I know like in our private conversations, we talk about men stuff and masculinity and all these things. And I think a lot of it is like, does your word mean something?
Yeah.
Right. To me, it's like, you want to be a man. Yeah. It's like, you want to talk to me about like masculinity or being a man. It's like, does your word actually mean something? Let's start there. Are you a good father? Do you show up for the people in your life, right? Your loved ones. Like those are the things that I'm so blessed, man. Like all my best friends are dudes that I admire. Like they're people that make me better, that I look up to. And that's a really cool thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I obviously I don't have kids of my own, but I definitely plan to in the future. And that's something I think about a lot, is that, how can I be the best dad that I can be? Right. I mean, I'll get very real and personal here. I haven't spoken to my biological father in about 6 years.
Okay.
I think that's the very first time I've actually said that publicly. I've sort of alluded to it, but it's been a hard journey, but it's something that I've had to definitely accept. And so, I mean, I think I've had a lot of moments in my life where at the time it felt like my whole world was just crashing and burning. Sure. Right? I've
been there, buddy.
Yeah. And I try my best not to compare myself to others, but I mean, I do.
It's human nature. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I think about, just how my life is and how my close friends, like my best friend, he also, hasn't talked to his father in a while. So I like to think that like I have that sort of sense of, like I'm heard and I'm like,
sure.
I'm not alone in this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know where I was going with that, but,
well, do you think that that's, I don't know how deep you want to get to each other.
Yeah, of course.
Therapy session. Well, it's not lost on me how lucky I am that I have a father that's in my life that was like a constant. Like my dad has never turned his back on me, even when he's had plenty of reasons to.
Right.
But he's also never condoned my bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's really important. It's helped me be a better partner, a better father, a better leader, a better coach, a better friend. Is like, you can love someone and not love their choices. And I think that those are things that get a little conflated, especially in today's world. Everybody's so polarized with all this, whatever, people are disowning their family because of some political post or some nonsense. But like, that was a big thing, man. Like he didn't condone my choices. He wasn't okay with things that I was doing. But he was still my dad. Like, you know, he didn't condone it. He didn't berate me. He would call me on my bullshit and we would argue and we would get into it. But it was
sometimes
like,
you need that, right?
100%, man.
Yeah.
100%. And it's, and there was times I'm sure we probably resented each other. I'm sure over the years.
Yeah.
For moments, but like, I'm deeply grateful because I think something like what you've experienced with your father, and I hope that changes if that's what you want it to, you know, like, whatever. But it's not uncommon, right? It's not uncommon, and that is like a legitimate tragedy to me, and it's something that I always hold. Like, some of my best friends don't talk to their dads, right? Or they've got like a strained relationship, and you can see it manifest in a lot of things in their behavior, in their life. And the one big thing that you can do, man, is when you've got kids of your own, is just make sure that's not the case, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Like, that's not me shitting on your father. I don't know.
No. But I know. But I totally get what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, thankfully, I have a very good stepfather that I've learned a lot from. He's been in my life for, I want to say 13 years ish.
That's awesome.
13, 14 years. He's taught me a lot, and that relationship has sort of been on and off. I think in my sort of what you want to call adult years, it's definitely been better. But I remember in the teen years, it was a lot of like, "You're not my dad. Who the fuck are you?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. That's just natural for young men anyways, though, right? Like, like you would have fought with your biological dad in your teen years. It's young men testing the boundaries of who's the man of the house, right?
Yeah. I actually remember what I was going to talk about earlier, just about how, you know, I had mentioned how there has been times where in my life where I felt like my world is crashing and burning. And this might sound a little corny or whatever the fuck, but I'm going to quote the singer Kelly Clarkson right here.
Okay. All right.
She has a song where what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and I 100% believe that, because I think that the hard times in life, it builds character, and it teaches you lessons, or you can learn lessons from it, right?
Of course.
Something that this is something that I've talked about on my podcast here briefly, is that, so when I was 18, I almost got arrested for a very stupid thing, and it was all in we had no ill intentions, but so a couple of friends and I from high school, this is when I was 18, I believe, we had bought these toy guns from Dollarama, okay, and we were going to do this like Western, like the standoff thing where we have our backs facing, we, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're just playing, like, just innocent, just like, right? Like I said, did not want to hurt anybody, didn't want to come across in any bad way. But of all places we decided to go, we went to a school with these fucking toy guns, and someone saw us getting out of my car, and of course it's my car we were driving to, right? They saw us with the toy guns, right? And I mean, they have the little orange tips at the end. So at the time, I'm thinking, well, there's no fucking way you can think these are real. But then, whatever, right? People can do that with real guns, right? And to create that sort of deception. But the people I was with, the guys that I was with, just weren't the best. And that's a fairly big reason why I don't talk to them anymore. Because I think if we dealt with that situation differently, I think it could have ended up a lot different. Basically, long story short, these guys, like my friends at the time, were just talking back to this guy that saw us with these toy guns, and sort of just making a scene, and sort of pissed this random guy off even more. So the guy ended up calling the police on us, and police ended up going to my friend's house where we all went. And the one of the hardest parts about this is that since I was driving my car, he took down my plate, and there was police that went to my house, and I wasn't there. So as embarrassing as it is, it also is like, holy fuck, what did I just do to my parents? Right? Because as a parent yourself, if you see a cop, like two cops coming up to your house and your kid is not there, you don't know what the fuck, where they are, you kind of have no option of like, okay, what happened? Are you okay?
Yeah, sure.
Or,
Yeah.
or, like, yeah, what happened, right? And, yeah, I mean, thankfully, there's no charges that were pressed. So I kind of got lucky there.
Sure.
But that was a big moment for me where I was like, holy shit, I have to change something here. Because if I continue this, there's going to be a point of no going back, and in not a good way, right?
Sure.
So I'll ask you, was there a moment for yourself, where you started to go down a certain path, or?
Yeah. So, I started getting arrested and brought home by police. I think I was 16.
Okay.
And that continued until, I don't know, I think I got out of federal prison at 24.
Okay.
26. Pretty late.
Yeah.
Pretty late in life. Yeah, like it was interesting. So I was pretty involved, a lot of fights. Like I wasn't selling drugs. I wasn't doing like crazy crime, like little bullshit, but like,
Yeah.
just fighting all the time, man. Like when I was 15, 16, 17, that's all we did was just, you're getting into scraps everywhere. You're going to, man, we're rolling up on Maples, your old high school, with baseball bats, and guys are cracking off. And that was how, being a tough guy, air quotes, that was how I got my validation, was like by being, because I wasn't big, and I wanted to be, I don't know, I wanted to be a tough guy. That's what I thought. That's what I thought was cool. That's what I thought was valuable. That's what I thought I could earn my place in the world. And in fairness, the culture and the environment that I was in, that was how you built a reputation, and that is how you gain status. Legitimately. So I was talking recently to a friend of mine, and I was like, where I grew up, girls wouldn't talk. Like if you couldn't fight and you couldn't dance, you can't hang out. Like chicks aren't around. Like you got to be able to go to the club and hit the dance floor with the girls and not look like an idiot. And then when shit pops off, you got to be down on the front lines, ready to go. Otherwise, like none of the hot, cool girls were gonna talk to you, man. And as a young man, that's it. Like you gotta, or your whole world is revolved around girls, right? So,
oh my God, I am so sorry.
That's okay, man.
Fuck, my computer's been doing this. Like it randomly crashes, just shuts down. I gotta look into it. I'm hoping that everything's all good. This has happened before.
I stayed on it. It was recording the whole time. So.
I appreciate you for staying.
Of course, man.
Okay. All right.
So we're going to hard cut that.
Yeah. Go back to it.
So I'm not sure where we...
where we even ended off.
So as I was saying, the way I grew up, I always had sports. So I always had martial arts. I was playing junior football out in British Columbia. I was competing in kickboxing and MMA and all this other stuff. So I would hang out and I'd be around and I'd be at the parties and I'd be at like the bar and doing all, and like getting into the fights and the trouble, but I was always on the periphery because I always had something else.
Yeah.
So like all my friends who were like in the trenches, in the game, that's who they were. That was their whole world, right? Like they were fully committed to that. And I was, like to say there's no such thing as a halfway crook, right? But I was kind of, because I was like, oh, I get to hang out and I get to kind of get the feeling of that life. But I would, then I'd be out in BC or I'd be in Calgary doing martial arts, or I'd be doing doing different stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I was in my early 21, I believe, I got a pretty catastrophic shoulder injury.
Okay.
From football, and that basically ended my football career and also ended my kickboxing career for the most part. Like I needed surgery. I was pretty banged up, and I never graduated high school. I put everything, all my eggs in being a pro athlete. Like,
Okay.
that's all I wanted to do.
That's what, yeah.
And my whole life was dedicated to that. I didn't give a shit about school, about
Yeah.
anything. It's like, no, I'm going to be a pro fighter. I'm going to be a pro football player. Like, that's what I'm going to do. And so when that ended, I lost my entire identity. Like, I'm a 21-year-old guy, 20 or 21, and it's just like, oh, this is, since I was 12, this is all I wanted to be, a pro football player and a pro fighter, and do both, and like be this athlete.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was just like, you're doing none of that shit, dude. Like that, those are off the table. And so I moved back to Winnipeg, and I was working security in nightclubs. Winnipeg, back when I grew up, in those days, was like, nightclub scene here was crazy. Every night there was a nightclub that you could go to that had 1,200 people in it. Like, every day of the week was like bumping nightclubs. That was the big thing. Each night had like the one or two that you would go to that were crazy. And Winnipeg had a crazy nightlife back then. And so I was just working security in the bars, just doing bullshit, getting paid to get into fights, at $8.50 an hour or whatever the hell we got back then.
Wow.
Just pretty lost, man. Pretty lost. And I lost my identity, and I also lost all of my camaraderie, right? Like, all my friends, I still had friends that were playing in the CFL. I had friends that were pro fighting, and like, cool. I was used to being with those guys.
Yeah.
Like being in the locker room, living with football players, going in training camps and getting ready for a fight, and your training partners, like you're bleeding together. Like, it was just all my brotherhood was just gone. Right. And I was working in a bar, and I ran into my older cousin's best friend. They were all these gang members, and guys I looked up to my whole life and just idolized. And I ran into them, and they're, holy shit. They, the little cousin Eddie, is because they acted like they were kind of like my big cousins.
Okay.
And they were like, cousin Eddie's here. Oh my God. Like, when'd you move back? Yada, yada. And I just started hanging out, and I had some money making opportunities. And even before I was like in the gangs and all that stuff, I started selling drugs, and I was making money, and I was like, okay. And I like to think I'm not a stupid guy, and I also don't do drugs. So I didn't have any of the substance abuse issues of, don't get high in your own. I just wanted money. Yeah. And I was working in nightclubs, so it was an easy thing to do. And it really, really picked up, and I started making a lot of money, and I was like, okay, well, this is going well. And I started hanging out with these guys, and not like, by the way, it wasn't like people pushed me or they convinced me. That's all I wanted to do, man. I was like, I get to be Ray Liotta in Goodfellas. Like, I get to be the guy, right? Yeah, yeah.
The guy you've always wanted to be.
100%, man. And I already had a reputation. Like, I could handle myself. I was, in the bar scene. I could fight. I was, a professional fighter. Like, drunk guys were like, that was easy to fight, Yeah, yeah. So I was in great shape. I was, in great shape. I'd been playing high level football. I was really well trained. I was staying in the gym sharp, and I just started getting. And it's interesting how quickly everything progressed. Like, it went from kind of getting in trouble here and there to like very prominent, very notorious, high-ranking gang member in the city pretty quick. And I'm not saying that out of like to be cool. It was just the way it went. Oh yeah. And the guys I was around were some of the guys I was with that I grew up under, like I said, that I call my big homies, like they were the boogeymen, dude. Like where we grew up, these were guys that you could write crime series about. Right. You know what I mean? Like
Like,
there's shootings all the time.
Yeah.
There's stabbings. There's kidnappings. There's, oh, this guy's getting charged, and all of a sudden the witnesses start going missing and getting kidnapped. And like, Winnipeg's a wild town, man.
Yeah.
Wild. And by the way, this is not me saying we were the baddest kids on the block. There was dudes around that are like, it was just a time in this city in kind of the mid 2000s to late 2000s where it was like the Wild West, man. Like there's multiple books written about the time here. Like there was biker wars here that's kind of the culture that I was in.
Yeah.
And there was everywhere we went, I'm carrying a gun, I'm wearing a bulletproof vest, like everywhere. It's like, it was really wild times, man. And
yeah,
I lost a lot of friends, I lost friends, not from old age. So a few good friends get murdered, and that was tough. And it was, so I know that was a bit long winded, but you asked like, oh, was there a time where things started to go off the rails? And and it was a good decade, maybe more, of just madness, man, absolute madness. And it resulted in a federal prison term.
Yeah.
And even then, and that was weird. It was one of our members and one of our best friends wore a wire for 13 months.
Oh, and wow.
That's like, so for context, I was a very bad person and I deserved everything that came to me. Okay. This is not like to be clear, right?
Yeah.
But also getting betrayed by your best friends is like, I really believed, I was naive. I really believed that we lived by a code. I really believed that shit. I believed in omerta. I believed in like the code of the streets. Like, you don't rat, you stand up for your crew. You got to ride with your homies, whether they're right or wrong. Like all this stuff. Like, if you're a tough guy, you're tough when there's 50 of you, or you're alone and there's 50 of them. Like you are your reputation. And I really, really believed that. And when I went to prison, there was, I think, 42 of us on this big case. And you get access to because they're all technically your co-accused, and you get access, your lawyer.
Okay.
You get everybody's shit if you want it. And I'm a huge nerd, if you can't tell by everything behind, like, I'm the nerdiest dude in the world. So I used my time to just read, and I was reading everybody's case files because I had access to everybody did, but nobody would look at them.
Yeah, right.
And, we're still thugging it up in jail and in prison, and it's wild. Like, Stony Mountain Penitentiary is one of the most violent prisons in the country. Like, you gotta be prepared for that shit when you get in, especially as a gang member, right? Like, you gotta stand on what you do.
Yeah.
And, but I would read, and my disillusionment started, where I was like, oh, well, because this guy wearing a wire, he'll go to, you and I are in the same group, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to you to grab guns, drugs, whatever, right? And you're being like, oh yes, don't buy from Eddie, man. Fuck that guy. Get from me. I'll give you a better price. That. And you start to read this, and you're like, well, that guy's supposed to be my homie.
Yeah. And he's like
we're all supposed to be
back.
like this unit that's rolling together. That's like like this outlaw lifestyle. And this is what we're doing. And you just start seeing like all the backstabbing, the snakiness, and cutting each other's grass, and like undercutting, and then the fucking ratting is starting. Like, everybody's telling on, not just for context. I'm not saying like high ranking gang members were ratting. That's not what happened. But I mean, like, there's, these guys are, how it works. Sorry, this is a little inside baseball, but like, if there's a big project, right, and there's a bunch of people arrested, well, what happens is, like, if you're some driver, like, you're not like a high ranking gang member, you don't have a big name, you don't have a a patch, as we would call it, right? You're just some driver for somebody. Well, what the Crown will do is they start hammering those people, and they start going after them for like 5, 8 years for like driving something.
Yeah.
Well, those dudes panic and
Yeah.
they either start telling, or what they do is they start taking, I'll plead out.
Right.
I'll take 3 years because they're trying to get 8. But then it sets what's called precedent, right?
Yeah.
There's precedent set. So it's like, well, if the driver, the nobody clowns are getting 3 years, well, the guys up here are going to be facing like 15.
Okay.
Right? So nobody's supposed to plead out. Everyone's supposed to shut the fuck up, do our time. Nobody's allowed to plead out until more high-ranking guys give approval on like where the cases are going to go.
Okay.
And it's just a fire sale, dude. People are pleading out. People are checking into protective custody. People are rolling out. It's like, and I'm just watching being like, oh my, like everything I thought this was is not real. Like everything I thought this whole lifestyle, like I dedicated everything to, man. I have bled for, I've been shot, stabbed, kidnapped, set on fire, done horrific things that I'll never be able to live with, like forced to live with, you know, like all this shit. And again, not everybody. There's some people that were really about that and true homies and will literally ride or die for you.
Yeah.
But I started to realize those were pretty few and far between.
Right.
And as a whole, it was kind of an illusion. And at least that was my experience. I want to be careful what I say. I'm not trying to insult anybody
for sure
in those lifestyles.
For sure.
Just that was my personal experience.
For sure.
And a lot of backstabbing, a lot of petty shit.
Yeah.
And I just started to, I got 5 years.
Okay.
For organized crime, trafficking, and some violence charges and conspiracy charges or whatever. And I did my time and I got out. I went away in 2009. I got out in 2012 and was on parole. And I was still kind of doing gangster shit. I didn't really know anything else. Like all my friends were in prison, you know, like I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And I was still pretty lost, man. And what prison will do, prison in Canada, and it's not like the States. It's not like that, but it's still pretty fucking bad though. I wouldn't recommend it.
For sure.
Like, it's still pretty bad. Very, very violent. Like fights and stabbings are like every day. Like you're not getting away from that, especially if you're in that life, right? Like, I don't know, you had 5 DUIs and that's why you're in there. Yeah, you can just shut the fuck up, go to your cell, and people pretty much leave you alone.
Yeah.
But if you're in the gang life, like you got to stand up for what you're doing. You got to, and plus I loved that shit.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to get into shit in prison. I wanted to get into
like kind of riled you up.
Like, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Just a super toxic, super toxic individual.
Yeah.
And, so prison doesn't make you, it does one of two things. It either scares you straight and you never want to go back, or you don't give a fuck about it. Yeah. Because you're like, I don't care. It's like, I already did that. It's not, the first time super scary. After that, it's like, oh, whatever.
Right.
And that was the effect it had on me, was not the scared straight, was like, oh, I could do this. And to me, it was like it was like a rite of passage. It was like, oh yeah, this comes with the life. You got to be able to, I know I can do time. I know I'm not a snitch. I know I don't bend under pressure. I know, like, I was really proud of that. Honestly, I kind of still am. Like, I know what I'm made of, right? I know what I can handle. And, it was talk about life lessons, right? And, I got out and I had no direction still, and I had nothing, man. I had no money.
Wow.
I had nothing. I lost. Well, they took everything. Like they took my house, my cars, my money. Like you lose everything, and your lawyer's also just. I mean, you're not getting away with less than like 25 grand in like lawyer fees, right? So
yeah.
All the money you're saving up and all the stuff you're doing, and then there's people. You know, you probably have a lot of product on the street. Those guys aren't paying you. Yeah. They're like, oh, that guy got taken away. Sweet. All this is free. I get to just make money. Right? Like it's not. Yeah. So I came out. I was pretty angry, man. I was pretty angry. I was dealing with a lot of trauma that I didn't understand.
Right.
Which just made me more violent. I was a very, very violent person.
Yeah.
And I got out and I was so mad. I was so mad. I felt so fucked over by the world. I felt disillusioned. This life that I was leading, there was a lot of backstabbing and bullshit. Like it just, that hurt a lot.
Yeah.
The main guy that I looked up to that I taught, like my big homie, his name was Darcy, and I loved him deeply. He was like a big brother to me. He taught me a lot about the world. And he was a bad guy, I guess you could say. Like he was like the fucking Tony Soprano of the North End.
Okay.
He was a big dude. He was a very, very dangerous, scary man, but I loved him very much. And he died of pancreatic cancer when I was in prison. He was 34.
I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah, thanks. And so like I'd lost a bunch of other friends. Some friends were murdered when I was away.
Okay.
People got life in prison. There was just, it was pretty fucked.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, they're drug addicts, they're alcoholics, because everybody's traumatized.
Yeah.
You're not like, you know, you don't go through a drive-by shooting and then just be like, oh, Jordan, that was really scary, right?
Yeah. And then just,
you're going to be like, dude, this guy's a fucking rat. He's freaking out. He needs to get shot.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just like, you know, nobody's going and doing something horrific and then coming back and being like, whoa, guys, can we talk about that? You know, it's like, you keep your mouth shut.
Right.
And you just, so what do most guys do? They're drinking, they're doing drugs.
Sort of eats you alive.
100%.
Yeah.
And they're internalizing it, all this trauma. And everybody around is fucked up. Like, I was a fucked up person. Everybody I was around was a fucked up person. You're all doing horrific crimes, violence, drug abuse, womanizing, like a super high risk lifestyle 24/7. That doesn't breed a bunch of like well-balanced people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't even realize, like, I'll look at pictures of myself back then and I look like a dead-eyed lizard, dude. Like, you know, a 22-year-old, 23-year-old, your age, that, you know, the 1,000-yard stare, just this traumatized, dead-eyed, and you're just like, holy fuck. Like, it looks, my partner, she'll see picture and she's like, you don't look like the same person. Like, my face looks the same and all that, but it's like, there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got out and I just had nothing, and I was doing shit jobs, getting absolutely fucked over by people because you know, you're doing shit labor jobs, you're cutting grass, you're swinging a hammer, you're sweeping up construction sites, and the foremans are, oh, you're going to work overtime. And you're like, dude, I you know, I'm already in overtime. I'm like, well, you want me to call your parole officer?
Oh, no.
Like, dude, that shit
She just
happened.
had no choice.
I'm not trying to play a victim, but like,
of
people
course,
definitely take advantage of convicts. They take massive, you know, you're living in a halfway house with a bunch of fucking child molesters and scumbags, and it just sucks. Everything about it sucks. And so I was trying to do the right, not even really trying, but like I was kind of doing the right thing. I was like doing these jobs. And, you know, when you go from making, like, I was very addicted to power, I think. Like, you know, you're 22 years old, 23 years old. I was the president of a gang. I would show up to a nightclub. There's 800 people in line. I've got 20 dudes with me and 25 girls, and the bouncers can't say no. Yeah. Right? Like, it's like, you're letting us in, man. And then we go in there, we're dropping thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, you're living like a rock star lifestyle. Right? Like, and that's poison to a young man. Like, that's absolute poison. So but you go from that, and then you get out of prison and you've got nothing. You're a loser. You've got no money. You're doing shit jobs for nothing. So I started to get back into, I mean, all you do is know more people now. Like, prison's crime school if you're not an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, you just make more connections.
Yeah.
So I started to get back into it.
Yeah.
Started making money again. I was completely resigned to the fact of like, yeah, I'll go back to prison. I don't give a shit. Like, this is who I am. This is my life. This is what I do. And my dad got sick, and I remember meeting with him, and I was out on the shitty job site and whatever, and he calls me and he's like, "Oh, I want to meet for coffee," and which isn't abnormal.
Okay.
And at the time, they'd found a lump, and he was like, I don't know what this is, and it could be cancer, or yada yada, right?
Okay.
And so I remember sitting there, and he left, and I just thought, like, I'm 100% going back to prison. And I was in prison for a couple years, and only 2 people visited me. One was my best friend, who's not involved with that, like he just a friend.
Yeah.
And my dad.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was like, I'm 100% going to go back to prison. And like, they don't let you out because you're sad or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
So I missed my best friend's funeral when he died of cancer.
Yeah. Oh, the one you were
And
mentioning
that
before.
one,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, if this goes bad with my dad, he's going to be in a hospital bed with his only child, his son, not there. Right? Like,
Wow.
and I was like, I had kind of hated myself enough. I was like, I don't need to add this to the list.
Yeah.
And I quit the gang. I quit everything. And I was like, I gotta figure out how to do life. And it was super fucking hard. I had no education. I didn't know shit about anything. I'd only been good at 2 things my entire life, and that was hitting people and being a gangster.
Yeah.
And that was it, man. I didn't know anything else. And yeah, sorry to be so long-winded.
Oh my God, no, don't be sorry.
Biography.
This is amazing. Yeah, like thank you for sharing, of course.
Yeah, and I went with a friend. I got an opportunity to go guest coach at my alumni football team, my junior football team out
Very cool.
in BC, in Nanaimo. And my parole officer gave me a travel pass so I could go out for a weekend.
Cool.
And I was like, okay, well, what am I good at outside of this shit? Like what? And I was like, okay, well, I was a great fighter, and I was a pretty good football player. I was never a great athlete. I'm kind of like lanky and gangly, but I work really hard. So I was like, oh, I can coach.
Yeah.
Like I know football so well, and I know kickboxing so well, and like I know these things so well that I can't really do them as much anymore. I'm probably 27, I guess. It's like 2013 maybe.
Okay.
2013, 2014, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, let me just go. What were the best things in my life? It was like, oh, football and martial arts. They were positive.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll just get involved with those.
Okay.
And so I started coaching football. I met my ex-wife through that, and we started dating, and she had these 3 girls. Like, my daughters are my stepdaughters. She's my ex-wife now, but I still have, like, the girls are still a huge part of my life. And
right.
I'm always like, we were together for like 8 years, since they were like 5 years old. So the girls grew up with me as their dad, right?
For sure.
And
for sure.
so I had, for the first time in my life, I had something to live for. And it was a weird feeling. Like, I was like, oh, I don't want to go to jail. Like, I've got this woman, I've got these girls, these kids.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be a dad my whole life.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I've got something. And I just latched onto that. And I was like, okay, I've got something that I can move forward with, and a reason to change. Like, I think you really need an anchor. You need a reason to change. Otherwise it won't stick. It just won't. And I had that, and I'm so lucky. Those girls saved my life, those little girls. And I just started focusing, and I got into personal training.
Cool.
And I got into coaching, and that led to my career, my current career. And I became a personal trainer, and then I just kept working and working and working. And, now I'm a C-suite executive in a huge company, and I'm I love my company very much, and I'm unique in the executive side of come from federal prison with no education, no high school. I do talk about imposter syndrome. I'm sitting around with people with like masters and business degrees that are these just geniuses, and I'm like, oh my god, me not saying fuck for 5 minutes is like an accomplishment. Never mind the things they're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I wouldn't trade a single thing. I wouldn't trade a single horrible, fucking awful, inhumane moment of it. And to what you were saying about what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, it's like I really think life is suffering. It is. And that's maybe an uncomfortable truth that people don't really want to acknowledge, but it is. And you learn how to suffer with grace. You learn how to suffer with dignity. You learn how to endure.
Yeah.
And like, it was tough, man. It was tough. Like I had to get into therapy. I'm a suicide survivor. Like it was rough, man. All these things all this trauma and all this shit that started to come up over the years after I already had a like successful, beautiful home, beautiful family. And I just never addressed any of that bad shit.
Right.
And that's what kind of led me into like my, coaching people and getting certified with like mental health stuff and doing a lot in that world, men's mental health specifically, and trying to help people avoid prison, or at least when they get out, get their life together in a positive way and be positive in their communities. And I think I think about it a lot. It feels like a different person that I'm talking about, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways it is, but yeah, I wouldn't trade it, man. And it sucked. Like I wouldn't trade it, but I also wouldn't want it for anyone else. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
It was so fucking horrible. Yeah. It was so horrible.
Yeah.
But I like
learned from it and
made me me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you had just mentioned about the kills you makes you stronger. It's sort of adding on to just what I was saying about the the hard times they build who you are, right?
Well, it's the only way, Jordan. It really is the only way that you grow as a person. And 100%. That's the uncomfortable truth that people avoid. And people talk a lot about like voluntary suffering and training hard and things like, it's like that. I believe in that, man. Yeah. Like, not to sound like a Joe Rogan podcast, but it's like doing hard shit makes you better. And it helps turn down the volume on everything else in life. It makes other problems become a little bit easier. And, like I say it jokingly, but, when I'm having a tough day at work or when things are going sideways, I'm like, well, I've been fucking prison riots. This isn't that bad. It's like, things going weird. It's like no one shot at me today. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Why do you think men struggle to open up about their mental health?
This is an interesting. I do think it's much more accepted and common now.
Yes.
I've been thinking about this a lot, man, and I'm glad you brought that up. I was hoping to talk to you about this and get your thoughts, but like, I think the pendulum swung pretty far where I think we're doing it a bit too much. I think it's like, and people keep talking like, oh, men's mental health and suicide for men and no one cares about men. And it's like, I don't know, man. The fact that I'm hearing about it 24/7 on my social media feeds, like people are talking about it. Let's all like, it's not stigmatized the way it used to be.
Yeah.
It's fine. I do think that there's a lot of growth and opportunities for us. But like, I still think people lean into that pretty hard. Like, oh man, it's like, it's so hard for men and nobody's talking. It's like, relax.
Yeah.
Relax. It's like, you can get a therapist. You can talk. I think it's where men struggle to open up. I actually think the reason for that I think it's lack of healthy male relationships in their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think it's an unwillingness or an inability to open up. I think just a lot of men don't have good male friends. And I think that is the actual crisis, is like, you get guys, all their friends are just dudes they work with that they maybe go drinking on a golf course with. It's like, I'm not opening up about my insecurities and deepest, darkest shit to Bill from accounting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's not, And nor should you. Right?
Exactly, right? Yeah.
So I think the lack of communities that men are involved with, I think the lack of male, like genuine, healthy male friendships. And sure, there was a lot of social pressure in the last, I'd say probably from 2014 to probably 2024, 2023 of like the fucking toxic masculinity and all that horse shit. And like for my generation, I think it had less effect, right? Because like I'm 41, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I knew who the fuck I was.
Yeah.
Somebody would be like, "You're being I'd be like, "Shut the fuck up." Like I'm completely comfortable with who I am. I'm not
That's
ashamed to be a man or whatever.
100%.
But what I think it damaged is your generation a lot.
Yep.
I'm not saying you, but like
No,
I
I
see that like 18 to 25 generation that, you know, you guys are in your formative years in high school and everybody's telling you that like if you like watching UFC, you're an evil person, or if you like say what's up to a girl, it's like rape culture or something. Like that stuff. Again, old man yelling at clouds is what you can call this episode. But like, but that has a legitimate lasting effect, because what happens is then young men start to feel like that male bonding and male relationships are toxic or that they're not good. So then they don't have them. And then they get to a point where they're 30 or they're 35 or they're 40 and maybe they're married. They've got their wife and their kids. They don't feel a connection to anybody. Men need men just like women need women.
Yeah.
Like, and because I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I have no idea. Like, I could do my best to be a good listening ear, but like women can relate to women because their experience is the same in the world.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm generalizing, but you know what I mean? Like they can relate.
Yeah, of course.
And it's the same thing for men. Like, I know what it's like to feel, the things the insecurities that men go through and the different challenges, being a provider, not being enough or whatever. And so I think men are comfortable opening up. I think the problem is they have nobody to open up to.
Yeah.
So that is a big problem. And that's where creating communities, the boxing community, I love jiu-jitsu. That's my obsession as well. And like,
of course,
you meet all these great guys at jiu-jitsu and people to talk to, and having communities, like, you got to get involved in shit. But I think people, they start to recede into themselves a little bit. They don't have those intimate male relationships and male bonding. And male bonding is also rough. And I think it should be.
Yeah.
I genuinely do. I think male bonding should be a little bit of ball busting. It should be calling each other on your bullshit. It should not being, you know, like my friends, I can call my friends for anything. I could. My friends don't need to show up as anything but who they are in that moment. And that's the relationship I have with them. Like, I don't care if you're being a grumpy little bitch about life. That's fine, man. If that's how you feel right now, then be that guy. You don't have to be fake. Yeah. If you're happy, be happy. If you're sad, be sad. Like, I don't care. I have no expectations of you.
Yeah.
And that's great because we can talk about a lot of things and struggles as husbands, as fathers, as trying to be providers and bills and all that. You know, we can just talk about shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. But, you know, if you're being a little too whiny, somebody might say like, hey, man, you also need to buck the fuck up and you got to endure a little bit. And, you know, we all suffer. Life is hard and it's supposed to be hard and it's going to be hard whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And I think that there's my concern with the mental health space is I think there's a lot of woo-woo bullshit online where it's telling people, like, oh, you know, you got to focus on yourself and you got to do, and it's like, I don't know. I actually think focusing on yourself is like probably the least productive thing you can do. I think focusing on other people and making other people better and having things to invest in other people, being a coach, being a provider, being an ear for others, volunteering your time, like focusing inward, in my experience, has never been the solution for anything.
Okay.
It's focusing outwards. Get out of yourself, get out of your head, go and get involved in a community. Nothing feels better than when you do something great for other people.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I don't care who you are. When you do something and you do something nice, or you do something that made a positive impact on somebody else, that fills a cup, that fills a hole in you that nothing else will.
Absolutely.
And I see a lot of the especially the men's mental health space where it's like, oh, you know, if you're sad, reach out to somebody. And it's like, well, one, they need to have somebody to reach out to.
Yeah.
So they got to get involved in communities. Two, this is going to sound insensitive, but I also think sometimes men need to just suck it the fuck up a little bit. And that's the way it goes, is like, life can be tough. You're expected to provide, you're expected to protect, you're expected to do these things. And so do them. And push, like you said, you know, doing the hard shit, the suffering, it actually makes you better. And it actually increases your capacity. So it gets easier every time.
Yeah. 100%.
And if you're avoiding those hardships, sorry if I was long-winded and not necessarily answering, but no. I think that's the problem is men are fine to talk about shit. They just don't really have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Of course. Yeah. Just sort of not really, I don't want to say disagree with you, but just sort of as a counter. Hey man,
disagree, please. Yeah.
Just as a counter sort of thing. You had sort of talked about, you know, not like working on yourself is not always the answer. Not most productive, you said. And like,
not working on yourself, focusing on yourself.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Okay.
Working on yourself is important, but focusing inward, like my problems, I need to think about that. That shit is, to me, is
I see
nothing.
what you're saying.
Yeah. Sorry if I was unclear.
No,
working on yourself is important for sure.
No, because I was just going to
say, go to the gym, do hard shit.
Yeah. I was just going to, because I feel like if you don't work on yourself, it's you can't really help others unless you help yourself.
So
to a certain extent,
I agree with that completely. Where I think the mark gets missed, this is a weird thing that I observe quite a bit actually, is you ever heard that term like paralysis by analysis, right? So it's like people who don't get anything done because they're analyzing the problem too much.
Yeah.
This is a weird thing that I see is like, okay, so what does actually working on yourself mean? Because it's not fucking reading books and reading quotes.
Yeah.
That's not what it is.
Yeah,
it's doing the things
it's
that
actionable
are uncomfortable.
Steps,
Yes.
Taking
and
action.
I think that's where things get lost and where I get really frustrated is like, I'll see that a lot where people are like, oh, I'm working on myself. Nope. It's like, well, I don't know. You kind of been saying that for like 2 straight years and you're still the same fucking idiot that you were 2 years ago because you're making the same choices and whining about the same shit. So, okay. So you read a couple books. Okay. Did you implement any of those things? Are you getting out of your comfort zone and doing the things that, like, listen, we all know the things that we're supposed to be doing. And you know how we know? They're the things we're avoiding.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Because it's scary. It's like, we don't want to.
Yeah. So if you're uncomfortable with how you physically feel or physically look or something, it's like, you know what to do. You got to completely change your diet. You got to dedicate to a fitness routine every day, not sometime. Like, and it's hard and it's awful and failure happens and failure sucks. So instead, what does that person do? They read a book on whatever, you know, like they distract and do, oh, I'm working on myself. It's like, you're not working on the biggest problem though, right? It's like guys who are drinking or like maybe struggling with substance abuse or something. And it's like, well, I only drink when I'm playing golf. It's like, bitch, you play golf 3 times a week. It's like, you're not really solving that problem, right? You're pretending like it's not there. And I think that that's something that the uncomfortable parts are what people need to do. And I know therapy is a really controversial thing because I believe in it. I've got an shout out Carson. My therapist is the man.
Hell yeah.
But I've been to a few and they didn't work and I couldn't stand it. And I had to just keep trying different people because I really, really, really wanted to get better. I really did. Yeah. And it was hard and uncomfortable and it sucked. And you got to face a lot of things about yourself that aren't awesome. And that's a bad feeling. Yeah. But, so sorry if I wasn't clear before about focusing on yourself. I just mean like the selfish side of it.
Absolutely.
Like, like, to me, getting better and improving isn't making more money.
Yeah.
I see that a lot, like in the social media world, young men, even guys that I'm friends with that are like, I'm out there hustling and I'm doing, and it's like, cool, like, honestly, man, cool.
Yeah.
But you also seem kind of lonely.
Yeah.
You know, you seem kind of lonely. It's like, I'm glad you got a nice car and I'm glad you're making a ton of money and you feel like that's how you're going to validate yourself. But it's like, I don't know, you seem kind of lonely.
Yeah.
You're like,
it's missing something.
Yeah, there's
in there.
something missing because it's all very self-serving.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what I should have. Language is important. I should have been more clear. I meant self-serving.
Yeah. No,
Doing
of course.
Things
Like
that are self-serving are not the best way to necessary. Like, self-development is one thing, but if it's self-serving, I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah.
The me time. Oh, I'm gonna go to the spa today and just take some me time. It's like, I don't know, man. I think you're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll survive. Yeah.
Yeah.
The storm passes, I like to say.
Yeah, man.
Eventually.
This too shall pass, as my father always says.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much for all that opening up. That's not a lot of people feel like, I mean, you know, of course this is not like a massive audience that we're in front of, but you know, it's still, you know, people are very private about their lives, so it shows a lot of courage and I could even say self-respect, I would say, just like the fact that you're willing to sort of share these sort of deep parts, you know?
Well, I'm uncomfortable with it. I'm a very private person.
Yeah, of course. Well, of course, privacy is important. Yeah.
But I learned if I really want to help people, which is like my entire life's purpose now, because I've done a lot of bad in the world and I've done a lot of things that I'm never going to forgive myself, that I just have to live with.
Yeah.
And I really want to leave. I always say, like, leave it better than you found it, you know?
Yeah.
And if not to sound, don't get me wrong. I'll fucking lose my mind in traffic and I'm still that guy. You know, like, I'm not some guru by any means. I still have plenty of flaws, but I think if I really want to help people, then I have to be comfortable sharing my story and my challenges, because maybe somebody hears that and they can relate to something and it helps them get through something.
1000%.
It's like, I think it would be selfish if I didn't do that and I wouldn't be really living my purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. Shifting gears over here just to the more boxing, combat sports side of things. I like wearing this this toque that I got, but I intentionally wore it for today just because you and I both well, obviously I started as a student and you know, now have shifted gears into the coaching side as well.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Craft Boxing.
Shout out Craft Boxing, man.
I think it's a phenomenal company that is really, it's really changed the trajectory of my life, because I think if I never found it, that would have really affected the type of person that I, you know, would have been, right?
I think you found it at the right time. Hey, isn't that interesting?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. I really found it when I needed it the most. I love the way you put that. Yeah. So you said you've the combat sports, everything like that has been a huge part of your life. I think you said since you were, what, 14?
14, yeah.
Yep. When did boxing become a part of that? Or was that just like
it was just kind of a natural transition.
Yeah.
So I started training boxing. I was doing Muay Thai, competing in kickboxing and Muay Thai. And I started training boxing just because I wanted to get my hands better.
Cool.
Because like Muay Thai obviously is knees and elbows and kicks and stuff. And I was never like a power puncher, and I just didn't have great hands because I didn't have to use them as much. So I wanted to get a little bit better at boxing, get my hands a little bit better. So I started training boxing, I'd say probably not till I was like 18, 19, like a few years into my martial arts.
Sure.
Like specifically boxing, but I would just add it in as like supplementary training. Like I'd go once or twice a week and do sparring for boxing and just really train boxing.
Yeah. But it was never like your main focus.
No. And then the opportunity came with Craft. Like as a personal trainer, I would always hold mitts for clients. I love, you know, I'd have like this, you know, 50-year-old nurse lady who'd be a client. I'm like, you're going to punch. And she's like, I don't know. I've never hit anything. And you just watch them change and be like, this is the best feeling in the world. And they have so much fun. I just love doing that and seeing, because I know how, even if you're not fighting, just like that level of how empowering and cool it is for people to experience that. And it's such a primal, you just feel like such a badass. You know, you hit a bag, you feel like a badass.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I love seeing that in people. And I really think being a coach is a genuine privilege. Like I get pissed off when coaches are like, no, they're lucky to work with me. It's like, no, man. Like,
get off your high horse.
Lucky. Yeah. You're deeply lucky that anybody's trusting you enough to listen to you. And you get to be a part of their journey. So boxing. And then I wasn't like super strict into boxing. I always did like MMA, jiu-jitsu's like what I trained the most.
Yeah.
And then the opportunity came with craft. I think we're going on 4 years in March. I think
it will be. Yeah. 2022.
Yeah. So I got the opportunity with G, shout out Monk. And for craft boxing and we, obviously, like I'd done it my whole life. Some version of striking, like striking in Muay Thai and kickboxing is just boxing. Like there's not different techniques. It's the same shit, right?
Yeah.
So I got into that and I loved what we did at Craft because we made something that is very inaccessible, generally speaking. It's scary to go to a boxing gym or a jiu-jitsu club or like if you've never done that, it's
pretty intimidating.
Yeah. Terrifying, right?
Yeah.
And we made it really accessible. And there's a lot of people that, we have a few coaches that never threw a punch in their life, started training it at Craft. And now they're coaches, now they're competing.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I think martial arts is, I think it's so critical for people in finding out who they really are. And that doesn't mean you have to compete or you ever spar or ever do anything like that. Like, it's just such an empowering, incredible thing. And if I'm being a bit of a toxic male, I think if you're a man and you have a family or you have loved ones, you better know how to protect them.
Yep. You
better be able to protect them, man. And so, I don't know, learn how to throw a punch and take one.
Yeah, exactly, right? Something I've always wondered, like, how did craft boxing find its way to Winnipeg? Because, you don't think about, Winnipeg is like, it's not really the first choice for many people, right?
Sure.
Like, how did that all come to be?
The Good Life Fitness had partnered with George Foreman the third, and to come up with like to put together like this program. The only reason Winnipeg was actually the first craft boxing, the Malibu Club in Calabasas wasn't built yet when craft was built in Winnipeg.
Really? So Winnipeg was very first. It was first before?
Very first. We're not the home club, obviously. It's in Calabasas with George
of course.
Team, but we were technically the first one open.
Wow.
It was just timing in life is interesting. The gym that it's built in, the Good Life Refinery location, is a beautiful, unbelievable facility. And
it is. Absolutely. Yeah.
It just was like, it had the square footage, it had the thing to put it in. So it just pretty serendipitous, man. Like it wasn't, it's got to go to Winnipeg and it's got like, I don't know. I like to think that the company trusted me to help launch that and make it successful. That sounded super airy. I just genuinely, like, in our company, there's not a lot of people who have combat sports background like I do.
Yeah, of course.
So I think they knew it was in good hands and they could trust me with it. And and Bryce and some of our other guys, and like
100%.
It's been a really cool but that was it. It wasn't like some major decision. It was just building the new facility. It had space for
right
it.
Time,
it had
right
people
place.
Here that would be great coaches already.
Yeah.
Like all the coaches that started the club all had martial arts experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like boxing, like, so it was just a great, it all kind of, fit.
Yeah. 1000%. Cool. Great. Jiu-jitsu is that's your cup of tea.
Lately, yeah.
Okay.
Last, I think 4 years I've been training consistently now. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And before the 4 years ago, was it new to you at that point, or was it?
I had done like a lot of I had a couple amateur MMA fights and like grappling, like some little bit of wrestling and super basic, but not like training it as like as like a main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you train at I don't know if I'm saying this right. Socius. Okay.
Socius Jiu-Jitsu,
Yeah.
BJJ in Winnipeg. Shout out
Shout out to them.
Shout out the Grumpy Cat. That's our logo and our head coach. Yeah, it's a great team. I mean, any club. Winnipeg's got an amazing jiu-jitsu scene. It's very, very cool. Shout out Coach Mike and Strangle Series. We've got like a pro grappling tournament that Coach Mike runs. That's like Strangle Submission Series. That's like this amazing pro grappling event that's running here. Runs a couple times a year, and it's just really exploding. There's a bunch of clubs it's a super cool community, highly competitive. There's amazing jiu-jitsu competitors coming out of Winnipeg. Some incredible facilities. Like it's, I mean, the sport just in general is booming. I think everywhere. But yeah, it's a really cool community. And it's super hard, man. Holy Christ. It's like the hardest shit ever.
I've never done any so
it's so hard.
Boxing has been my main martial arts or combat sports thing that I've really what's the word? I don't know, whatever. Dived into, whatever. But when I was a kid, I did Taekwondo.
Yep. Super good for kids.
Yeah. And that was, I guess you could say, my sort of intro into all this stuff. I mean, I took a massive break. I think I had stopped Taekwondo when I was a very young kid, and then obviously just started boxing probably in. Well, I don't actually know when I really started boxing, but it was like I had very little experience when Craft opened up. Sure. Little to none.
Consistently for the 4 years.
Of course,
though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think though that I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. That's
well. So what about it drew you in? Like why? Like because your journey's been really interesting to watch. So for me, I also feel like I've been talking so much. People are probably just tuned out from my voice. No. But as somebody who is relatively new to boxing, to come to a boxing club, like what about it drew you in? What kept you going, and what made you want to transition into coaching? And now, I mean, you've come such a long way. Like, shout out if anybody listening doesn't know, Jordan's a hell of a boxer. He's getting really good. Appreciate it. Yeah. And so like what drew you in as like kind of a civilian into that?
I don't tell people this a lot, and hopefully you don't see me in any different kind of way, because it can be controversial. But so just in the time that I grew up, I always watched YouTube videos. Okay. Yep. Jake Paul. He is he's fully submerged his life or whatever into the world of boxing. And I was sort of growing up alongside watching him, and it was super, super admirable. I don't know if that's the right word, but just seeing him fully commit to this sport, and I really started to learn more about it. I watched it here and there before that, right? It was never like super crazy. Like, I mean, I'd obviously known who Floyd Mayweather was. I'd known who Canelo was, that kind of thing. But it was never a thing of like where like I watched fights all the time, Mm-hmm. But seeing Jake Paul like do his thing, and he has his criticism, and that's that. But the way I more see it is like his work ethic, right? Really is something I look up to, right? And he sort of like, just seeing him get into that, I was like, oh wow, like this is actually really cool stuff. Like this would feel really good to be able to know how to do, right? Yeah. And then it was sort of just like a good timing thing where I was at a point in my life where, like I was saying, this is roughly around 18, 19-ish, right? When I was telling you, like, it was getting in some trouble, right? Yep. And I was like, fucking something has got to change here, right? And it just, I heard that craft boxing was opening up. And I was like, well, I already go to Good Life. I already had a Good Life membership, right? So I was like, oh, this is perfect, right? Like, obviously I'll go try it out, right? I didn't know anything about craft or really much about boxing, right? That was sort of my thing. That's sort of.
So what kept you going? Like what? It's
Oh,
not.
I mean, fuck, like just the amazing coaches that are.
I mean,
That
obviously, I'm a
yeah,
sick
like.
coach.
Yeah, yeah, like just the community, right? Like just meeting. I mean, sure, of course, like this was at a time where like I was really trying to change my life, so. Um, and as you may notice, like there's a lot of times where I do sort of I'm more quieter. Not that I'm a shy person, but I just there's a
Yeah,
lot
well, you're
of
a kid who brings guns to school, so yeah. I get it.
oh yeah, yeah, I'm a bad guy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's not that I'm shy. It's just like the way I've told people is that I just don't have a lot to say a lot of the time, and that's not
Nothing wrong with that.
and I you say there's nothing wrong with it, and I appreciate that, but that's something that I've really been working on this, in my recent years is trying to, right? Because like on here, I find it very easy. Like on the podcast, I find it very easy to be able to just have a natural conversation. But like,
Sure.
In person, especially with someone that I don't know,
Hmm.
oh my God. Like I have such a like a thick wall, a shell around me that I'm like, okay, who is this person I'm talking to? Can I trust them? Because I think I unfortunately have a lot of trust issues just with how I grew up.
Sure.
It's hard to move past that, to sort of let those walls down or let them go away, I guess.
So how do you expect to build trust with people if you don't talk to them and build vulnerability?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see that. I see now.
I'm not laughing. I just
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah, of
you're
course,
kind of
of course.
perpetuating your same problem, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like it's I like I said, I like to think that I have made a lot of improvements
For sure, man.
in myself. Honestly, even just for the fact that like I did it, sort of adding on to just kind of what you said before about, all this like thinking about yourself and like not actually doing this, not taking the action to make the changes,
Yep.
I easily could have been like, oh, well, I got to make this change and blah, yada, 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 but then I couldn't have done anything about it. And the fact that I did something about it, yeah, sure, I'm not perfect and no one is, but it's something I'm proud of. And it's something that, yeah, like I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, you should be.
But yeah, for as far as like what kept me there, it's the great coaching, the community, the adrenaline you get from it, and
Yep.
for the few times that I've sparred, it's a whole different ball game, of course, than hitting a bag.
Sure.
So that's just it's been very exciting and very sort of thrilling. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's watching your growth has been cool, man. And yeah, we've been very blessed. I think we've curated through really hard, diligent, focused work on creating a community there. It
Yeah.
doesn't come naturally. I think people kind of
course.
dismiss it stuff a little bit, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's such a great environment." It's like, yeah, that's deliberate though.
Yeah.
Like that's years of deliberate work of making
Yeah.
people feel welcome, of making them feel comfortable, of making them feel like they're
Absolutely.
a part of something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had some really, really amazing coaches come and go, and life changes as it goes on. But we've had some really special people as members and coaches that
Absolutely.
have really contributed to something special there. I think.
Yeah. How do you feel like when you see, like you'd already kind of, just when you mentioned you see that my
Yeah.
changes, but like just in general, when you see anybody sort of improve their life, like how does that make you feel? Like when you are specifically for boxing, right? For any other member,
Yeah.
right? That this similar, right? Like they tried something new and now they're this great going on to
Yeah.
competing, everything like that.
I respect
As a
anybody
coach.
who's doing something hard,
Yeah.
and like whether somebody competes or not, I don't really. It doesn't really change how I feel about it. But like anybody who's like actually doing something, I'm a big fan of. Like I I don't care if I don't know. I don't care if you're going there for weight loss, you're going there for stress relief, you're going like
Yeah.
anybody who just keeps showing up and putting in work, I just have tremendous respect for in that aspect, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just, there's so many people who don't.
Yeah.
There's so many people who just fucking quit when things are hard, and that is such disgusting behavior to me. Like,
Yeah.
it repulses me when people are just like, oh, like, it's hard. It's like, yeah, well, everything's hard, and everything gets harder because you're weak. So it's like you're emotionally and mentally weak, and that's gross to me as a person. So I just really respect people who just keep showing up, and I respect people who still suck at it but keep showing up. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that's cool too. And but yeah, I think as a coach, maybe with people I work with more specifically, I think is maybe what you're referring to. Like,
of course,
as their coach.
Yes.
It is the most fulfilling, outside of like my partner and my kids or whatever. Like, it's probably the most fulfilling part of my life is when I to have this, like, and sure, maybe it's ego, but like, to know in your heart that a little bit of that is because of the hard work that you gave, like, you put into somebody to see them flourish, is like, it's very, very rewarding. It makes me feel like I'm, like, when I'm coaching, I feel, outside of being like a dad or whatever, but like when I'm coaching, that's when I like myself the most. Like, I think that's the best version of me. Yeah. That's when I feel like I'm the best version of myself, is when I'm coaching people. And hopefully people can feel that, like, I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah, well, and I definitely see that. Yeah.
Well, thanks, buddy. And you know, there's these moments as a coach that I've been so privileged to have. Like, shout out Coach G, Jihad, one of our coaches. He had a fight last year, and you know, at this big event, and people are he beat the guy's ass. He did so. G's such a monster, right?
Yeah.
And we worked so hard on it. A bunch of us, obviously not just me. And there's this, although he and I can't find this picture, which sucks, but we had this moment where, you know, I gave him a big hug after the fight, and I was like so proud of him, and he had this belt.
Yeah,
and,
cool.
We took the picture, and he's like, "No, man, this is yours," and he put the belt on me for the picture. And,
oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, I know, I love you, Coach G, but like, it was like this moment, and it's not about ego, but it does validate, though. Like, as coaches, we give if you're a good coach, you give so much of yourself all the time to people, right? Yeah. Like, you invest so much into them, more than you're ever going to get back. You have to want to love to do this, to like to invest more than you're ever going to get. And those moments make it just so, I don't know, that sounds kind of arrogant. Not about him doing the credit, but like, just seeing like, man, somebody appreciates everything that I put in. Like, somebody appreciated the passion at which I approached his training and dedicated all that time. And it's like just somebody saying thank you, like, without saying specifically, like, just seeing how it all comes together. And yeah, being a coach and seeing people develop, it's such a cool feeling, man. When I'm in class and I see people like yourself, guys that have been guys and girls that have been training with me for 3-4 years. Yeah. And you're watching them put together combos and understand distance management and their defensive drills, and they're sparring and they're looking good. And you're just like, man, I remember you when you were a soft pile of puddly bullshit, you know, like, and now you're out there just carved out of wood, just throwing hands. And I just love that. I love seeing people become a better version of themselves. It's really, really rewarding, whether you get the credit or not. I kind of made it about credit, but I just, it's such a cool thing. It's such a cool thing to see people like transform through the fires. You know?
I see what you're saying for sure about, you know, like the coaching side of things. Like, obviously, like, I've been a boxing coach for going on 3 years now, almost 2.5 years. Crazy. And like, I had a lot of people in Toronto, particularly, that always had gone to my class, like, week after week after week. And it's sort of what you're saying about, you know, like, the fact that they kept showing up. And, you know, I mean, this is not throwing shade to any of those guys in Toronto. It's like, you know, a lot of them probably, like, they're not fight ready, right?
Yeah,
but
sure.
it's the
polite way of saying it.
Yeah. But it's the fact, like, that they didn't give up. It's not like they were like, oh, this is stupid. And I think, like, again, not to sound like, oh, I'm the best or whatever, but like, I think that I had a part in why they kept showing up, and I think that yeah, it's just very, very cool to be able to see. I also feel very like this is like feel like this is like a very good part of my, like I don't know how to word it, like you had you put it in a way of like this is my best version. Sorry, that was hard to it's hard to get the words out. But this is like one of the best versions of me is like being able to teach this valuable skill. Like even though, I'm learning myself, right? But just to
right? It's lifelong.
Yeah.
It's a cool feeling, man. It's
really
really special, and I'm very grateful that like I coach on Thursdays at 7:00 at night, and I've done that same class for 4 years.
Yeah.
And there's people that still show up, and it's like, man, you could be doing anything else.
Yeah.
You could use your time for anything else, but you're choosing to come listen to me, work with, like, you value my coaching or my time or however you want to say that, my presence at all. Like, I'm super grateful for that, man. And I think coaches need to do there's a lot of coaches out there that I think should really do a better job understanding that we do not exist if people aren't showing up.
Yeah.
Like, you are entirely in the service of your athletes and your members.
Yep.
Like, everything that comes out of your mouth, everything that you do, you say, you act, should make people feel like they are the fucking star of the show, because they are.
Yeah.
They are. Not you and all the shit you know.
Yeah.
It's like they're the stars because they're the ones showing up. The shit you know means nothing if there's nobody to teach it to. And you hear about people's experiences at other clubs and other events and other things where they're like, oh yeah, nobody, I was going for 5 weeks and nobody even talked to me. It's like, it hurts my heart, man. It's like, God, because now they're turned off of a sport that I love, that I know could have a huge impact on them, because some coach just didn't give a shit. They were just another person paying a membership.
Yeah.
Like, man, that stuff, I could rant all day. But like, I think as coaches, if you are in a position, whether you're coaching kids or adults in any sport, in any atmosphere, whatever the arena is that you're a teacher or a coach, you need to thank your lucky stars every time somebody shows up to listen to you.
Absolutely.
Like, whether it's 1 or 100, like, just be deeply grateful that somebody is showing up and listening to you. Like, that's operate in service of your people, and really special things will happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have made it a habit of saying that at the end of all my classes, kind of like my thing of like just thanking for them showing up, right? And it's funny, I actually say those words verbatim of what you said, is that, you could have done anything else, but you chose to be here, right?
100%.
That means the world, right?
Yeah.
Even though that, being truthfully honest, like, I'm not going to be a boxing coach for ever, right? I'm an actor at the end of the day, right?
Sure.
But I love doing this, right? It's a very rewarding thing to be doing, right?
I think teaching or coaching in any aspect is giving of yourself is rewarding. It doesn't matter what. That's what I was saying earlier, man. It's not that you're boxing. It's like giving of yourself to others is the rewarding part.
Yeah.
We just happen to do it through boxing.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't matter what it is. Giving of yourself to others is the most rewarding way to live your life.
Absolutely.
Full stop.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, there's a lot that we didn't get to talk about, but I've taken a lot of your time. So there's always opportunities for you to come back, I guess.
Oh, I'd love to, buddy. Yeah, I'd be honored.
But you know what? I think that's a good time to end it there. I know I've already said it a couple times, but I do really want to thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing all these, sort of deep, personal moments. I think it'll really, it could help a lot of people, right? It has helped me because I'm listening to you and I'm like, sort of in my head, like sort of, well, like, have I sort of gone through that same sort of thing? Not to the same extent, of course, but like just the same idea. And I think that a lot of other people could do the same. So I appreciate your
transformation's hard, man. And I think, sorry, I don't mean to interject or make this longer. I just,
no.
I think for a lot of people, one, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Obviously we're friends and we're colleagues, so
Yeah.
it's comfortable to come talk to you. And
Yeah.
I really appreciate you making the time and taking so much of your time to do
Yeah.
this and having me on. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really grateful, and I'm happy to be here. I'm honored to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And I want people to know that, like, I'm living proof that, like, you are not defined by your past. Like,
Yeah.
you can be a complete fuck up and you can fix that shit. Like, if you care enough about it, you can fix it. You can fix anything about yourself if you care enough about changing. And, like, that doesn't mean you have to completely revamp who you are as a person, but, like, I know you just said it. Like, I know maybe some of my examples are extreme examples that people can't relate to, but, like, just you're never too far gone, man.
Yeah.
Like, I want people to know,
Yeah.
if there's
Yeah.
you're never too far gone. Like,
Yeah.
if you genuinely care about improving your life and being better for the people around you, you can.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm living proof of just what that anyone can do it, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not special. I don't have some special secret skill set or some ability that other people don't have.
Yeah.
I just
You're
genuinely
human.
wanted to make a better, I didn't want my legacy in life to be taking from the world.
Yeah.
And I did, or whatever that is. Like, that was it for me. And I wanted to find a way to be a positive influence on the people that I love and my community. And I want people to know, like, you're never too far gone. You can change, you can improve your life if you're really, really willing to commit to it. But
Absolutely.
then you gotta commit.
You got to do it.
You can't have assets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2 feet in, right? Or whatever
That's
the
it,
saying
man.
is, both feet in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just a little thing to end it off. When I was making this podcast, you were one of the first people that I thought of, like, damn, he would be a great guest. And
Thanks, man.
I'm glad that I was finally able to accomplish that. This is, I think, episode 28 or 29, something like that. So you still got a long way to go. I'm hoping that,
man.
I get to the Joe Rogan numbers where he's in the
Sure,
fucking
yeah.
2000s and shit. But yeah, very much thank you for your time and thank you for being here. For the people that are watching at home, be sure to follow the show on Instagram at Off the Record with Jordan Rance, and subscribe here on YouTube, same handle. And of course, catching episodes every single Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, wherever you get your podcast. I know it's on YouTube, and I just started doing video podcasts on Spotify as well. Eddie, is there anything that you any sort of closing remarks? I know you've said a lot,
I've
but
talked enough.
yeah.
People are probably sick of hearing me.
No, you're good, and you don't have to say it. I just like to give my guests just one last final, if you
I
had.
appreciate it. No, just I don't know.
Yeah,
Leave it better than you found it.
there you go.
That's
There
it.
you
Leave
go.
it better than you found it.
There you go. We'll end on that. Thanks again, everybody, for watching, listening, wherever you're from. We'll see you next week. We're out of here.